Most students fail at LSAT logical reasoning because they don't understand what the test is really asking for. They focus on the wrong details, they fall for tempting traps, and they end up second guessing themselves. But the thing is, logical reasoning isn't about being the smartest person in the room. Instead, it's about understanding how the test is designed to trick you. Today, I'll show you why so many people struggle with logical reasoning and give you the tools to consistently choose the right answer. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to outsmart the test and avoid the common pitfalls that derail most test takers. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, let me start with a common scenario. A student comes to me a week before the LSAT. They're frustrated because their logical reasoning scores are stuck. They tell me they've done hundreds of questions, but they still don't really feel they have an understanding of what the test is looking for. The problem is they've been practicing without a clear strategy, or even worse, they're falling for the traps the LSAT writers set for them. But here's the thing, logical reasoning isn't about memorizing question types or picking the strongest answer. It's about understanding the logic behind the argument and knowing how to spot the pitfalls, and that's what we're breaking down today. The LSAT is designed to test how you think, not what you know. Logical reasoning questions are carefully crafted to, 1, hide the real issue. Many arguments on the LSAT seem airtight, but contain subtle flaws. Secondly, they tempt you with wrong answers. These are answers that sound great at first glance, but don't actually address what the question is asking for. And third, LSAT loves to punish careless reading. Missing a single word, like necessary or sufficient, can lead you to the wrong answer. The key to succeeding is recognizing these traps before they catch you, and there are patterns in these traps. Let's look at some of the most common ones. First, biggest mistakes people make is misunderstanding the argument. A lot of students dive into the answer choices without fully understanding the argument. Of course, this leads to confusion and wasted time. Instead, before looking at the answers, you want to pause and ask yourself, what's the conclusion? What's the evidence supporting it? And what's the gap? What's missing or flawed in the reasoning? If you understand the argument up front, it's like you've got a map and you can get to the right answer faster. Second big mistake is falling for strong language. The LSAT writers know that we're drawn to strong, confident language. Words like always, never, and must can seem persuasive, but they're often wrong, especially for questions asking for subtle or moderate answers. To outsmart this, for necessary assumption questions, avoid extreme answers. Necessary assumptions are typically going to be understated or obvious, all else being equal. For strengthen and weaken questions, focus on the answer that directly impacts the argument, even if it's not the flashiest option. A third really common mistake is confusing question types. One of the biggest mistakes is treating all logical reasoning questions the same. For example, conflating necessary assumption with sufficient assumption, or conflating strengthen with sufficient assumption. Each question type requires a different mindset and a different strategy. So you've got to learn to identify the keywords in the question stem to avoid this mistake. For example, necessary assumption questions contain words and phrases in the question stem like depends upon, requires, and assumes. In contrast, sufficient assumption questions contain words and phrases in the stem synonymous with sufficiency like allows, enables, and follows logically if assumed. So you've got to adjust your approach based on what the question is looking for. A fourth bonus big mistake here is ignoring the process of elimination. Too many students spend way too much time trying to find the perfect answer without eliminating the obvious wrong answer choices first. You want to eliminate choices that go off topic, are too extreme or too weak, depending on the question type, or that don't directly address the question. If you can narrow down your choices, you can focus your energy on the most likely candidates for the correct answer. So to outsmart the test, master the question stem. Every single logical reasoning question tells you exactly what it's looking for. You've just got to read carefully. Again, for necessary assumption, look for keywords like requires. For sufficient assumption questions, look for keywords like enables to guide your thinking. Always confirm what the question type is so that you'll know what kind of answer you're looking for before you get into the choices. Now remember that almost every argument on the LSAT has a flaw, so focus on the flaw. If you can identify the flaw or the gap, you'll be better equipped to spot the correct answer. Common flaws include assumptions about cause and effect, or generalizations based on limited evidence, or confusing correlation with causation. Third, embrace the process of elimination. Even if you are unsure about the correct answer, you can still improve your odds a lot by eliminating the obviously wrong ones. Use this process systematically so that you can avoid letting tempting but incorrect answers distract you. Finally, think like the test makers. Every logical reasoning question is designed to mislead you in specific ways. So always ask yourself, what trap are they trying to set for me here? And why might this answer seem correct at first glance? When you start thinking like the test makers, you'll be able to see their tricks coming. And that is exactly what we help students do at LSAT Unplugged with our Socratic review method. We guide you to think about the questions from the test maker's point of view, helping you analyze systematically the stimulus in logical reasoning or the passage in reading comp, the question stem and the answer choices, tempting wrong answers, unappealing right answers. We break all of this down for you to help you achieve your goal of 170 plus on the LSAT through our live online classes via Zoom, our on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And so whatever you do going forward, make sure that you are practicing with a purpose. And so to build consistency in your understanding, practice with a purpose. Analyze your mistakes. After every question that you get wrong or have difficulty with, ask yourself, why didn't I understand the argument the first time around? Why didn't I spot the flaw? Why was the right answer choice unappealing at first? Why was the wrong answer choice tempting at first? Then you can spot the patterns in your mistakes so that you can avoid making them going forward. Also, make sure that you start timing yourself sooner rather than later because you've got to get the questions right under test day conditions. Logical reasoning is just as much about efficiency as it is about accuracy. So practice timed once you've built that foundation so you can build speed and focus. Finally, track your mistakes. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to learn something new. So keep a mistake log or an error journal of the questions that you got wrong and review them frequently. Look for patterns in the mistakes that you're making. Maybe they're with regard to certain question types or certain methods of reasoning. And if you can fix those gaps, you will dramatically improve your score. Now, again, if you'd like my help adopting these strategies into your LSAT prep on your journey to achieving a top LSAT score, my team and I would be glad to help you out. You could check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.